welcome back to the Mike and Andrew Show. I'm Andrew Surwick here with Mike Meredith. Mike, it's Thursday. We got a lot to talk about heading into this weekend. New Year's coming up. I know we have exciting times ahead of us for sure. Got the New Year coming, so last episode before the New Year as well. So just Mike, real quick before we get started here, man. Let's talk about the New Year's. Let's see what you got in store for us heading into the new year, and I'll give a little bit myself.
Not much different than what I'm doing right now, man. Just sticking with the grind here. For any of the viewers who don't know, man, I've been on a weight loss grind, lost 85 pounds in 10 months. So, just sticking with that, and then, following the sports, trying to be consistent on my YouTube channel at Mike's Talks and Thoughts. If you guys are interested, I talk about TV shows a lot on there. So if you're into TV, definitely check that out. And just trying to be better. What about you, man?
Good to hear, man. Look, as the new year comes in, we're gonna obviously we're gonna stick to the NFL because that is our bread and butter. I feel like obviously we need to talk more about basketball and hockey, as those seasons are starting to get to their midway points, especially in hockey. Yeah, man, just going to continue to grind, keep working my butt off every day, and I look forward to the new year and hanging out with you soon, man. But we're going to get right into it now. We got the NFL. We did preview tonight's game, Browns and the Jets. That just kicked off not too long ago. Browns are already up 7-0. Enough said about that. But Saturday, one of the big matchups of the weekend, we have the Dallas Cowboys hosting your NFC North champions, Detroit Lions. Man, it feels weird saying that because it hasn't happened in our lifetimes until now. But that said, Dallas, a 5.5-point favorite here over Detroit. Look, Dallas at home versus Dallas on the road, two very, very different teams. They're averaging about 10 points more a game at home than they are on the road. Their defense is one of the best in the league. The Lions, they're going to have to play really tough, really smart football if they want to have a chance to win here. I am going to pick the Cowboys here, though. I don't know if they cover that 5.5. That is the devil's number, so you might want to actually go with the Lions here. But that said, I just don't see how the Lions win this game. The defense is just not good enough, I don't think.
Man, I'm putting faith in the Lions. Even though Dallas is undefeated at home, man, I threw a quick little 5-ball on the Lions this week. Nothing too crazy. Hopefully double my money and get that nice Lions W and get some momentum rolling for the playoffs.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see that, but I looked at the injury list today, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson's out, and we really need him if we want to beat this offense, man. We really do. Granted, it's the devil's number, so I could be very wrong here, and you're going to be very right.
Don't put in Jerry Jacobs, bro.
just don't put in Jerry Jacobs. I think we'll be all right. Anyways, on to Sunday. We have the Ravens hosting the Dolphins. Big implications here if the Dolphins win in this game. But Baltimore's favored by 3.5. But like I said, with those big implications, if the Dolphins win this game, I believe they are the 1 seed in the AFC. But that said, I think the Ravens are going to win this game. The Ravens at home are like Dallas at home. They are super, super good. And they're the best team of football. So I think they're going to win this game. And they cover that 3.5.
Yeah, I think so too, man. The Ravens are just one of the craziest teams at home. They come off the biggest win of the year against San Francisco on the road. I think they're going to ride this momentum here throughout the rest of the season here.
Yeah, they're riding a huge wave of momentum. I think it might crash soon, maybe next week, maybe this week, but I just don't see it crashing right now. The Bills will host the Patriots. Buffalo, a 13-point favorite in this game, and I see no reason to not take Buffalo here. I know New England got a nice upset win over Denver last week, but Buffalo is just a much better team than Denver. there's a lot of issues I have with Buffalo, especially Josh Allen and lots of interceptions and inconsistency. But this Bills defense is a lot better than the defense that New England faced last week. I just think Buffalo overall much better team. You got to pick them here.
Yeah, I mean they're playing the Patriots, who still can't believe they got that win last week against the Broncos. But the I think their defense can definitely hold up against Buffalo, but that offense is just gonna crumble, man. Buffalo's defense is gonna walk all over them.
Absolutely. The Bears host the Falcons. Chicago, a 3-point favorite here. Um, Look, Atlanta has a lot of questions going into these last 2 weeks. They're still technically in that playoff hunt, but man, they have to win these next two games to even have a chance. That said, Chicago, I mean, they're a lot better this year than I thought they would be. 6 wins, um, more than I thought they would have for sure. Chicago at home is actually a lot better than Chicago on the road, believe it or not. Um, Atlanta not hasn't played a lot of games out in the elements. I gotta go with Chicago here. It's not going to be nice weather. I believe this weekend in Chicago. So yeah, I gotta roll with the Bears here. I think they're just gonna barely win. I don't know if they cover that 3 points, man, but this is gonna be a low scoring game for sure.
Yeah, this is gonna be a low scoring game. This is tough because Atlanta, is actually fighting for something when Chicago really doesn't have much to fight for. But I really want to see Chicago win just so their pick gets worse and worse. Um, so I think for that reason, man, I'm gonna roll with the Bears.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They still have first overall locked up. I'm pretty sure, especially if Carolina
Yeah.
does lose this week. Um, the Colts will host the Raiders. Indianapolis, a 3.5 point favorite at home against a very bad Raiders team, and the Colts are still fighting to get into this playoff too, and they have a very good chance mathematically. They're sitting 8-7 right now. Um, 2 wins, get them 10-7. They're in the playoffs for sure, man. And I think no one really expected them to be where they are this year. But I got to roll with them, man. They look really good. The Raiders suck, and yeah.
Yeah, the Raiders are trash, man. And well, the Colts, man, they really aren't that great either. But I can't believe how good they're doing this year, man. The Colts have definitely been one of the more surprising teams, and I think with them at home, I don't trust the Raiders. They're another team that just seems to be inconsistent. I mean, look at them. One week they score zero, and the next week they score 63. They're all over the place. I think I'm going to roll with the Colts here.
Yeah, no. The thing with the Colts, man, is they've just overperformed this year by a long shot. I mean, I think their over under for wins was at like 6.5 or 5.5, somewhere around there. Um, and they've well overachieved that already. So good on them, honestly, with the offensive roster that they have. Yeah. The Jags will host the Panthers. Jacksonville, a 6 point favorite in this game. Look, the Jags lately have been terrible. Plain and simple, they have not been playing very good football. Trevor Lawrence does not look 100% out there. I don't think he is 100% right now. They're still fighting for their life for this division right now. Um, they're a three-way tie with Indianapolis and with Houston. So it is it's important for them to try and win this game, and they don't even really have to try because it's the Panthers. So yeah, give me the Jags and the points here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jacksonville too, even though they haven't been doing too well. It's the Panthers, man. They are just bottom feeders of the league, and Jacksonville, this is like a gimme win. They got to win this.
Yeah, this is basically like the game for Jacksonville. Like here's your ticket to the playoffs. Good luck. Um, Speaking of ticket to the playoffs, the Texans are hosting the Titans. Houston, a 4.5 point favorite in this game. I don't think CJ Stroud is back for Houston, but that's not going to really matter. Tennessee blows. Um, the Texans defense will do just enough to keep them ahead in this game. You don't need C.J. Stroud when you're facing offense that can't put up any points. So give me the Texans and give me they cover that spread as well.
Yeah, I just Tennessee. I feel like their team is slowly starting to realize that they're really going to need to go into a rebuild here pretty soon. Derrick Henry is getting really old for running back, and they really have no quarterback. I don't trust Will Levis, and their team's falling apart. So I think that even without C.J. Stroud, Houston's just got a better team than Tennessee. I think they are still fighting for, that division, the wild cards. So they definitely have a lot more to win in this one compared to Tennessee.
The Giants will host the Rams. The Rams a 5.5 point favorite here. Look, the Giants at times can really compete with good teams. The Rams, I don't think are really that good of a team. They're in that playoff picture right now, but it's the devil's number, man. I'm going to go with the Giants here. They're going to win at home against the Rams. Suck my dick, Matthew Stafford.
Let's go. I'm going to roll with it too, man, because I don't want to see the Rams face the Lions first round. I got a bad feeling, man, about that. So let's roll with the Giants, even though I think they pulled Tommy DeVito or Danny DeVito or Tommy DeVito out.
Yeah, I don't think Danny DeVito's starting at all. But no, I honestly would love to play the Rams first round of the playoffs as a Lions fan because I want to see Jared Goff face fuck the Rams organization that threw him out on the curb, man. I really want to see that. Anyways, the Eagles will host the Cardinals, the Battle of the Birds here. Philly, a 12-point favorite here. This is a nice week for them to recover. They play a dog shit team in Arizona. And yeah, look, they've things are starting to fall apart, but this nice little end to the schedule here. I think this game right here can end this skid. Don't count Arizona completely out of it though, but I think the Eagles win this one.
I think the Eagles win, but I think Arizona covers that spread, man. Arizona's been pretty dang good against the spread this year, I feel like. I don't know the exact record, but they always seem to keep games closer than they appear to be. So I'm going to roll with Eagles winning, but not covering.
Yeah, I don't think they'll cover, but I think they'll get a nice win, end this losing skid, and they'll move on from here. The Buccaneers will host the Saints. The Bucks are a 2.5 point favorite in this game. Look, both these teams are fighting for the division lead right now. Obviously they're with Atlanta. Saints are tied with Atlanta right now, sitting at 7-8. Bucks are 8-7. The Bucks are red hot though. I would like to see the Saints upset here, but I just don't see it happening. Give me the Bucks, and they cover that 2.5.
I got the Bucks winning this division. I think this is the game where they seal it up, and they're going to win this week.
The Commanders will host the 49ers. San Francisco, a disrespectful 12.5 point favorite. They should be favored by like 77 here. Because, God, the Commanders are god awful, man. They haven't won a game since the trade deadline. Give me the Niners. They're going to more than cover this 12.5, man.
Yeah, they got to come bouncing back after last week. I think they're going to blow doors off this week.
The Seahawks will host the Steelers. Seattle, a 3.5 point favorite here. Both these teams are fighting for playoff chances right now. Seattle a little bit more than the Steelers. I think the Steelers are maybe starting to realize that maybe this just isn't the year. Seattle, though, they just want to come in and try and ruin Detroit's playoff run. So I really want to pick the Steelers because I just don't want to face Seattle in the playoffs as a Lions fan. But I just don't see any way Pittsburgh wins this game. So I got to take Seattle here, and I think they will cover that 3.5 as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, another team that's going to be kind of scary to play because Seattle's had our number like a lot least recently, and if they get on fire before the playoffs, it's going to be tough. So I'd like to see the Steelers win, but again, like Mason Rudolph at quarterback, they just don't have it, man.
No, they really don't. Look, Seattle, it doesn't matter who's coaching the team. They just find a way to beat Detroit every single time, man. It's happened the last three coaches. They just find a way to beat us, and it's just unreal. The Chiefs will host the Bengals. The Chiefs a 7-point favorite in this game. Look, if this game was not in Arrowhead, it was in if this was in Cincinnati, I'd be taking the Bengals all day.
Bengals.
But
Mm-hmm.
Arrowhead is one of the hardest places to win at, and you have to be a very, very, very good team to beat the Chiefs at their, home field. Um, and look, the Lions were able to do it, but the Lions are a very, very good team. I don't think the Bengals are a very, very good team here. I think the Bengals will keep this close, however. Give me the Chiefs, but the Bengals will cover that 7 points.
Yeah, I think so too. I actually was like right on with you on that. I was gonna say that if the Bengals were hosting this game, man, I'd take the Cincinnati, man. The Chiefs just don't have it this year. They are all out of sorts. They don't know what's going on. Mahomes is yelling at everyone. Kelsey now doesn't know what to do. It's like this team is falling apart.
Yeah, the only saving grace for the Chiefs right now is that this game is at home. Otherwise, yeah, dude, you have to you'd have to pick the Bengals if this was a home game for them. The Chiefs are just falling apart. They are not anywhere near what they were last year or 2 years ago, even. And I thought 2 years ago they had the better team. But anyways, man, I just have to pick the Chiefs. It's at home. I would love to see Cincinnati win this game because I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs win so goddamn much. But yeah, the Broncos will host the Chargers. Broncos a 3.5 point favorite here. Um, you know, look, Broncos tough loss last week. I think this is a nice bounce back week. The Chargers are really bad as well. Um, I thought the Broncos would for sure win last week, but it is the NFL. Teams will surprise you at times, but the Chargers are so beat up and they're just down, and they have no Justin Herbert. So man, just give me the Broncos and the points.
I don't know if I can take them, man. I mean, Chargers. They almost won last week against the Bills, and Broncos are sitting Russell Wilson. So,
Oh, never
um,
mind. I'm picking the Chargers. Fuck that.
yeah, you didn't hear about that? Yeah,
No, I didn't hear about that. No, fuck.
yeah, they don't want to pay him his money, so they're sitting Russell Wilson out.
Well, shit. Yeah, no, give me the Chargers then.
Yeah, I think for that reason too, I got to take the Chargers.
Yeah, no Russ, and because they don't want to pay him. What? Okay, whatever. And then Sunday night football. There's no Monday night games because we'll talk about that soon. Uh, we have the Vikings hosting the Packers. The Vikings are a 1 point favorite here. Look, the Packers I think are the better team here. If this was at Lambeau, definitely would be taking the Packers. Here, I just don't know who I want to pick because man, both these teams are just so mid. I don't know who to pick. My gut says to pick the Packers, so I think I'm going to. Just because they at least have an actual starting quarterback here. But man, I just don't know, man. I Part of me also says to take the Vikings, but I'm gonna roll with the Packers here.
I'm gonna roll with the Packers too. They're rolling with some guy. I think it's like Jaron Hall or something like that. The Vikings are at quarterback this week. Um, they just they've been going through so many different QBs, man. Um, just the Vikings, they've fallen apart. Packers haven't been great either, but I trust their team a little bit more right now, even though they've been dealing with some injuries. I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah, I think the Packers are the smarter choice here. If this was at Lambeau, it'd be a lot easier to make that pick, but just because it's on the road and Green Bay on the road has not been good this year, it makes it tougher. But yeah, when you have a nobody starting at quarterback, yeah, I kind of have to pick um, the Packers here. So, anyways, now we're gonna talk a little bit college football, some reviews from yesterday's 4 games. So let's get right into it. The Military Bowl, we had Tulane and Virginia Tech face off. Virginia Tech winning big, 41-20. Um, this was a game that was interesting to say the least. Virginia Tech was favored by 12 and a half here, mostly because they had most of their starters playing this game, whereas Tulane had pretty much nobody, especially on the offensive side. Defensive side, not so much. But very good win for Virginia Tech over Tulane. In the Mayo Bowl, we saw West Virginia defeat North Carolina 30-10. And it was a good game. For West Virginia, first they scored on their first play of the game, 75-yard to the house. Beautiful, beautiful passing play there for West Virginia. West Virginia was favored by 3.5, and they got a nice blowout win here over North Carolina. The Holiday Bowl, we had USC and Louisville face off. USC getting a big 42-28 win here. A lot of opt-outs from both sides, obviously. A good win there for USC. And then in the Texas Bowl, Oklahoma State gets the upset win over Texas A&M, 31-23. Which is awesome because, fuck Texas A&M. So now getting into the bowl games, we have a lot of important games on Monday, and we'll get to those first. But real quick, we'll just get into everything else. Tomorrow we have Kentucky and Clemson playing in the Tech Slayer Gator Bowl. Clemson a 4-point favorite in this game. Both teams out with a lot of starters, so it's really, like I said, like I've been saying, it's really hard to pick teams here. I'm just going to roll with Clemson.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with Clemson too. They had some okay wins earlier in the year. Again, it's tough to pick these bowl games, man, with not even knowing who's going to be on each team.
Yeah, exactly. Like when South Florida beat Syracuse 45-0. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Notre Dame and Oregon State will be facing off in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Notre Dame a 6-point favorite in this game. Oregon State's without their head coach, so you got to roll with Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, again, probably would have picked Oregon State earlier in the year if they'd play each other, but Oregon State's probably sitting some guys, and Notre Dame, they got their probably more people playing, so I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, a lot of starters out for both teams, but Oregon State doesn't have a head coach now, so I have to roll with Notre Dame here. Iowa State and Memphis will face off in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Iowa State a 10.5 point favorite in this game. I know they have a few starters playing. I believe their starting quarterback is actually playing, which means, that 10.5 points might actually be real here, so I'm going to roll with Iowa State.
Yep, 10.5 in the bowl game. Sounds pretty legit.
Here's a game with a whole bunch of third stringers playing in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. OSU, Ohio State, and Missouri will be facing off. A lot of starters out for both teams. Coaches don't give a shit about this game, so picking a random team, throwing dart at the board, I'm going to roll with Missouri.
I'm going to roll with Ohio State, even though, it's Ohio State. They seem like the team that would win the bowl game, even with starters out. I'm going to roll with Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's such a toss-up because there's nobody playing. You got to think with Ohio State's better recruiting classes, though, they probably have better depth players than Missouri does. So yeah, Ohio State could probably definitely win this game. Saturday, we have Penn State and Ole Miss facing off in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Penn State, a 4.5-point favorite in this game. I believe Drew Aller's playing. I don't think Dart's playing for Ole Miss. I know Drew Aller's garbage, but at least he's somewhat of a starting quarterback, unlike whatever Ole Miss is going to put out there. So, if I'm wrong about Drew Aller not starting, then I'm wrong about that. I haven't seen if he is or not yet, but I'm going to have to roll with Penn State here, just because it's one hard to pick in these bowl games, but yeah, just give me Penn State.
Yeah, same. I mean, don't know how many people on the defense are going to be playing, but that defense definitely is top tier. And Ole Miss isn't playing their starter. That's just, again, a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. Maryland and Auburn will face off in the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl. Please don't ever use Trans Perfect as a sponsor ever again. But anyways, Auburn is a 6.5-point favorite in this game. I don't know who's starting on either side. I don't think Baby Two is starting for Maryland, and I don't think Peyton Thorne is starting for Auburn. I'm just gonna have to say Auburn, just because I feel like they're a better team than Maryland, even though the records say otherwise. I just think Auburn's a much better team, much better program, I would say too.
Yeah, and for that reason, I mean, we're going into a bowl game with starters sitting out, and I'm basically going to go on programs prestige, and Auburn definitely has that in this one.
Definitely so. Capital One Orange Bowl, Florida State versus Georgia. Georgia a 20-point favorite in this game. That tells me that there is going to be some starters playing for Georgia in this game if they're going to be favored by that much. Obviously, Florida State's without their starting quarterback, but it is what it is. There, he got his leg broken earlier in the season. That said, Georgia's a much better program than what Florida State is right now, especially in terms of just depth players. I feel like Georgia's third string could probably beat up on Florida State's first string. So definitely their third string could beat up on their third string. So give me Georgia. I don't know about those 20 points, though.
Man, you know what? I'm going to roll with Florida State. And for the reason being, they're going to say a big fuck you to the committee, and they're going to play their fucking ass off like they've never played before. Georgia, I don't think really cares much. But Florida State, man, they're going to say, fuck you and fuck this committee. Y'all want to keep us out of the playoffs? All right. We're a 20-point underdog? All right. And they're going to come out and upset everyone. Let's roll.
You know what? I like the way you're thinking here. Fuck it. Let's go Noles. And then last game on Saturday, you got the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl with Wyoming and Toledo facing off against each other. Wyoming, a 3.5-point favorite here. Toledo coming off a upset in their conference championship to Miami of Ohio. But that said, they're without their starting quarterback too. Wyoming, I don't know shit about their school right now. I don't know anything that's going on there in terms of who's starting or not. I'm gonna roll with Toledo though.
I don't even really know too much about either of these teams. I think I'm just gonna roll with Wyoming because they're favored in this game.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, yeah, with a lot of these games, you just want to just pick the favorite and just be done with it. But sometimes you do have to pick the dogs, man. Anyway, so now we're going to move to Monday. We have, obviously, the two semifinal games. But first, we're going to get the afternoon games out of the way because, those are games no one cares about. We only care about the last two games of the day. So, anyways, to kick us off at noon in the ReliaQuest Bowl, we have LSU and Wisconsin facing off. LSU a 10-point favorite in this game. Believe it or not, these teams used to have a bowl game rivalry with each other. Every time they've played each other in bowl games, there's been fights. There's been just something crazy's always happened. Wisconsin's upset LSU multiple times. it's always something crazy with these two teams. I feel like something crazy is going to happen in this game too, but I feel like LSU will win this game. So give me LSU. I don't think they will cover that 10 points though.
I think I'm going to go LSU as well. I don't think they're going to cover either, but it's going to be a crazy game.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy for sure. Just because, like I said, man, these teams and their bowl history, man, it's always something crazy that happens. In the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, we have Oregon playing against Liberty. Liberty undefeated against, well, a very garbage schedule. Oregon, a 16.5 point favorite here. It doesn't matter how many starters Liberty plays. They could play all 22 of their starters. They will still lose to Oregon's third string because they are that bad and that fake of a 13-0 team, man. Give me Oregon and the points.
Yeah, I'm a Oregon here as well. This a way better team, and um,
Way better program in general.
yeah, yeah, just way better all around.
And then the last of the noon games, we have Tennessee and Iowa facing off in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Tennessee, a 6 point favorite over the fraudulent 10-win team in Iowa. Give me Tennessee in the points, man. I don't give a fuck. Iowa's garbage.
For real, man. Iowa, like even if they had all their starters, like they're not going to score more than like 10 points. So Tennessee all the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really low scoring game because nobody's playing in this game. But yeah, give me Tennessee. So now to the actual important games where there's actual starters playing in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with the first game of the evening, the 5 o'clock matchup, the Rose Bowl. Number 1 Michigan versus number 4 Bama. Michigan, a 2 point favorite. The line opened at 3.5. It has moved down to 2. There's a lot of money on Bama right now. I think I saw something was about 80% of the money is on Bama right now to win this game. Look, Michigan's defense is elite, plain and simple. No, a lot of offenses cannot score on this team. Even the very elite level offenses that they have faced, like when they faced Ohio State, they just could not, score against Michigan. Bama got almost beaten by Auburn. Their offense is not that good. Now, granted, their offense got better over the year, or as the season went on. But man, there's just Michigan's defense is probably the toughest defense Bama will face all year outside of Georgia's, and Georgia's defense was nothing like it was last year. This is going to be a very, very close game. This is probably going to be the best game all weekend because just how tightly matched up these teams really are. Their offenses aren't that great. Their defenses are really, really good. Bama's front seven is very, very scary, but I know I'm a Michigan fan, so you're going to say it's biased, man, but I just think Michigan's just going to barely eke this one out. But Bama will cover that 2 points, I think. I think Michigan will have to win it on a last-second field goal.
Yeah, I think this is going to be super tough, man, because Michigan, you could tell, man, it was a tough pull with Bama. They won Florida State, but I remember the line. You said it opened at 3.5. Now it's down to 2. I remember at some lines it being down as low as 1 at one point. I mean, this is pretty evenly matched. I mean, Michigan is the better team on paper, but Bama's got the experience, and Milroe has really come alive later in the season. I'm going to roll Michigan, though, because fuck Bama, fuck their program, fuck everything they stand for, fuck Bama.
Fuck those inbred hillbillies in Bama. That's for sure, man. Look, this is going to be a really great game, man. I mean, we could talk all day about the different metrics and shit that how these teams line up. But JJ McCarthy's going to have to play perfect in this game. And that offensive line, even without Zach Zinter, is going to have to play very, very perfectly. And Sharon Moore's got to throw the kitchen sink at Bama as well. Throw a lot of trick plays out there because just do something Bama will not expect you to do. Um, like, for example, they will bring in forget the guy's first name, but his last name's Orgy. They'd bring him in just to run
Orgy
the
in the
ball.
end zone.
Yeah, Orgy in the end zone. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, RG3 for that one. But anyways, take Orgy, put out Orgy out there, but instead of using him just to run the ball, have him take a deep shot. Bama will not be expecting that. They're going to creep their safeties up, their corners up, just a little bit because they're going to see him out there, and just have the receivers run deep and have him take a shot deep, man. Just do something that no one's seen you do yet. Just throw the kitchen sink at Bama, and JJ, you stay perfect. You can win this game. Your defense will keep you alive. It's just about how much you can keep that defense off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, the 8:45 game between Washington and Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Texas, a 4-point favorite in this
Mm-hmm.
game. What have I been saying all year, Mike?
Texas is back.
Texas
Baby.
is
Go
back.
Texas.
Give me Texas. Give me the
Yeah.
points. They are just a much more complete team. Quinn Ewers has been absolutely electric this year. He decided to take football seriously, and look what happens. You know, you win a conference championship. Who would have thought? Look, Texas is just built, ready to take on the SEC. Sarkisian has done an excellent job, and Texas is very, 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 very hungry to just start beating up on teams. Texas is back. I know Washington is very, very good. I just don't know if their defense is going to be able to hold up against Texas, man. Um, the only thing Washington's going to have to be able to do is keep this in a shootout. But Texas's defense is really, really good, man. So it's going to be tough for them. They have a big hill to climb here. Give me Texas. Give me the points.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna roll the same way, man. I really like Texas. Um, Washington. I like Washington too. They've proven everyone wrong. I feel like the last like 3 or 4 games this year, they were all underdogs and they ended up winning them all. They beat Oregon twice. They beat USC. I'm trying to think who else they beat late. That was like big. They've just been like I said underdogs in a lot of their games and they've prevailed. But I think that Texas is just too good for them, man. I think that they're gonna win and cover.
Yeah, no, Texas is they're just so good. Everything that Texas does is just almost perfect. I mean, you're never gonna get perfect in football. I mean, we're humans. It's never gonna happen, right? But that said, man, just Texas is so much better of a team. They have better athletes. The run game is a hell of a lot better. Washington has struggled against the run. Um, and the Texas defense is really, really good. Uh, so Washington's only hope is just to figure out a way to keep this in a shootout with Texas because honestly, I don't see a way Washington's defense will stop Texas's offense in this game. So they're gonna have to make this a shootout, but I just don't see how they're gonna make this a shootout when their offense doesn't really match up well with this Texas defense, man. But that is going to do it for us for college football bowl games. Mike, before we get out of here, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? Otherwise, we have ourselves a really short episode, man.
Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about it more on Tuesday. But right now, I don't want to get people's hopes up. But the Pistons are up 6 points right now, and they were up at by like 13 at one point on the Celtics. So the Pistons might actually win a game. They might actually win.
Oh boy, if they break this streak today. Oh, can we actually talk about the Pistons real quick? Actually, about what
Yeah.
because Frank Gores actually spoke finally, or not Frank, but Tom Gores finally
Tom
spoke.
Gores.
He
Did
finally
he speak?
spoke. Yeah, he
Oh, I
spoke
didn't
on
know that.
Friday at midnight with select media only. Um, I thought Michigan was the kings at that by doing Friday at 5 with select media. No, this is a deeper low with midnight at with select
Mhm.
media. Um, anyways, basically, he basically was saying things like, well, look at what I do for the community. We don't care that you gave a kid a trumpet and you built a park. Like, dude, we want a winning basketball team. Or and
Oh yeah.
and then he's talking about there's gonna be changes, but no one's gonna get fired. Um, like
So what does that mean?
right. That's what I'm saying. And then like trying to say that you guys are gonna be active in trades, like what? What are you talking about, dude? Like, you have no leverage. You already owe, I think it's the Knicks, a second round or first round pick, and you already owe them a second round as well. So it's just, what are we doing here, man? What the fuck are we doing here? Uh, Tom Gores, you are a horrible owner, and I really hope you make some changes that actually will make this team better. But I highly doubt it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I just looked. So I just mentioned the Pistons were up 6. Now it's only 1. They've been outscored 29-11 to start the third quarter. They started out so well. I think they were leading by 13 and a half or something like that, and now they're almost about to give this up.
Yeah, well, it's the Pistons. Well, it is also the Celtics, so I thought we would get blown out like 158 to like
That
17, to be
that
honest.
was that was the most popular bet today, man. Was people betting Pistons money line because they were like a plus 900 favorite. So if you would have put like $100 down, you would have won like $900. So people
That's
were on
that's
that
not
Pistons
bad.
hype train.
That's not bad. I mean, that streak's going to end soon, but against Boston, no, there's no way. There's absolutely no way, man.
For real, man. If y'all had Pistons money line, y'all might want to cash out right now before they blow this lead.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, man, it is what it is there. But yeah, man. Tuesday, obviously, we're gonna talk a ton about the college football playoffs and how those games went. We'll go into really deep review with those. We'll just skim over everything else like we have already. NFL, obviously, we'll talk about that as well. We'll start off with the NFL like we always do. Um, we'll also probably bring back some NHL and NBA power rankings. Um, and yeah, we'll go with that for Tuesday. So thank you guys so much for listening. Rate, review, subscribe. You know the deal. Help us out. Let us know what you want to see more of. And we will see you guys on Tuesday in the new year.